Hello again, Rich here, just me and the camera out in the countryside, experiencing what's real. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. So, digital IDs. Many of us saw this coming 4 or 5 years ago with all the lockdown bollocks, etc., and the restricted movement, and people said, oh no, but no, it's necessary. Some of us saw the bigger picture while being told, oh, you worry too much, that will never happen. But guess what? It's happening. Not just here in the UK, but it's happening already around other parts of the world. And if there's one thing that those lockdown and that era taught me or hammered home to me, is that some people prefer the idea of safety and that kind of stuff at all costs, ask no questions, and some of us, me obviously, believe in freedom and the right to freedom at the highest cost. And of course the problem with the safety thing is that it's a brilliant tool if you want to control people, because if you're in power and you have massive budgets and control over the media, etc., etc., all you need to do is create an illusion of something to make people fearful, and then people will bend over and do what you want. And not only that, they try and shame everyone who doesn't do it and drag them down with it. There are many commonly thought of despotic regimes who've controlled their people with mantras of "it's for your safety, for your health." And of course, if you control the narrative in the media, then it's very easy to make that case, especially if you ban all opposition voices or minimise them. And the problem is that people with their kind of inherent desire to do well and to be seen to be doing well can often not see far enough to think about how a supposedly good thing could be used for bad reasons, especially if the wrong people are in charge. So for example, a lot of liberal kind of progressive minded people will egg on and champion, for example, censorship laws or public shaming, etc., when their own people are in charge and doing it. But often they can't foresee that what if the people they don't like get in charge and use it on them as well. Much crying and gnashing ensues. And of course the powers that be and the policy changers, they know this, which is why they'll bang on about "you're doing this for the greater good," etc., etc. You're just a means to an end. And of course the big thing they use with the digital ID argument is, oh, it's for your convenience, you do most of these things already anyway, it's just formalising it and making it easier. And funnily enough, the same everyday consumers who accept this and say, oh, it's just convenient, what's wrong with it, they don't even realise, for example, that on social media, Facebook, etc., that they are the product. If something is for free, then your information is being sold, or you're being directly marketed to, or you're being directly persuaded in whatever issue is happening. Convenience, safety and issue, it's always been kind of the soft propaganda way to get people to do what they otherwise might not, or might hold on from doing. So the people advocating for digital ID and the like don't even seem to realise how they're being controlled already without it. Whether that's through history, education, social media marketing, TV, you name it. And if you don't believe that, tell me why in the UK during the COVID stuff, why was SAGE, the Government Advisory Committee, made up more of behavioural psychologists than of scientific virologists? think we know the answer. They're more interested in your behaviour, not your health. So of course one of the big differences with all of the things that we sort of use digitally now is that we pretty much have consent over them. So, you know, if you want to use a digital wallet to pay your stuff, which plenty of people seem to do, especially the young, then that's great, but that's your choice. But it takes away a lot of potential freedom. So what happens when the powers that be decide that they have an agenda and there's something they don't want you doing? So, oh, you can't buy that thing now, or you can't buy that subscription, or you can't go to that place and use that much petrol, or you can't eat that kind of meat. You're controlled, you can't do it. AI and the, I don't know what, blockchain will make sure that it can identify what you're doing and you won't be able to do it. Goodbye choice, goodbye freedom. That doesn't sound like convenience to me. Hey, listen, we're all human beings, we're all fallible, we've all got our mistakes, we've all got our weaknesses. It's part of being human, and part of that is, you know, we buy what we want, sometimes we buy what we shouldn't want, sometimes we spend money on things we shouldn't, and you know what? That's the beauty of life, and that's freedom, and that's making mistakes. We don't want somebody else telling us where we can go and what we can buy, what we can't buy. So for example, you might be, say, an environmentally friendly person who thinks, well, I don't eat meat, I use public transport, etc. These are all good things. They're great, yeah, which is great when your people are in charge doing your agenda, but things change. People who don't follow your agenda get in charge, and they can just as easily use these tools against you as for you. What happens when you're at a pro-environmental protest, but your guys are not in charge of the government anymore, and they see you and think, we don't like what you're doing, so we're gonna give ABC restrictions on you, and we can do it directly through your digital ID. That very digital ID that you advocated for when your guys were in charge and everything was safe and you couldn't see anything that would possibly go wrong. It could never be used against you. Honestly, the complacency of many, if not most people, when it comes to freedom absolutely astonishes me. And it often seems to be the most academically intelligent, so-called educated people as well. I guess the people often with most to lose from not adhering to the status quo or doing as they're told. I guess many people just love living in their kind of safe, predictable urban world where if you ask no questions, you get no trouble. And that's not even a criticism for me. I'm not here to criticize at all. If that's what you like your life to be, that's absolutely wonderful. I'm all for it. But honestly, you don't know when your freedom, how much your freedom is worth until it's gone. There again, 5 years ago or so, most people showed that they are given the right reason, they really don't give a damn about their own freedoms. All you got to do is persuade them that something is real, and that's it. Yeah, take our freedoms, lock us up. And I'm guessing for most of those people they'll be quite happy to have a digital ID. And again, fair play if that's the life you want to live. And once digital ID's hooked up with advanced AI, etc., that'll be it. If the app says you can't go somewhere, you can't go somewhere. You can't buy something, you can't buy something. If somebody makes up a reason that, I don't know, there's too much pollution in your area, you can't drive today. Tough, you can't drive. Especially if you're in an electric car and easily monitored that way. And again, for those who are myopic enough to think that's far-fetched, well, 6 years ago you would have looked at me and said, oh, people will never put up with staying at home for a year and not being able to work, etc. Oh, the people won't stand for it, the mental health, the financial, no, people won't stand for it, etc. My goodness, how we were wrong. And that was pre-digital ID and pre-AI. Oh dear. People who think, you know, that, oh, this won't happen for a long time, technology is new, etc. Don't forget, most technology, when we discover it as new, the military, etc., have been experimenting with it for what, 10, 20 years, etc. When we see it as new, it's not new per se. So don't think that all of these technologies and plans and potential agendas aren't already drawn out and haven't been for a long time. Anyway, that's my cursory take on digital ID. It's only my second video, so nobody will watch this anyway. If you do see it, please subscribe. See you soon.